after First Take. So this was LeBron just getting his shit off, and boy, did he get his shit off about everything. I'm talking his relationship with Michael Jordan. He went back to the draft.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. So the Lakers picking Bronny James in the NBA draft is an example of long overdue black nepotism, according to ESPN's Stephen A. Smith and Jay Williams. Lebron's son was selected by the Lakers with the 55th overall pick in the second round of the draft. On Thursday night, a seismic moment which left the 19-year-old overcome with emotion. This means Bronny and his dad are set to become the first ever father-son duo to play at the same time in the NBA, and they will do so for the very same team. However, the former USC Trojans guard who was snubbed in the first round of the draft, joining the same franchise as his dad, has led to accusations of nepotism. Some are arguing that he has only been selected by the Lakers due to LeBron's influence, while suggesting that he is not ready to play in the big leagues.
Played Indiana the other day. Pat McAfee show comes on immediately after First Take.
Yeah, well,
after First Take. So this was LeBron just getting his shit off, and boy, did he get his shit off about everything. I'm talking his relationship with Michael Jordan. He went back to the draft being rigged.
You could tell from the way that the hat was sitting that he was on bullshit.
He was on total bullshit.
He had that shit low like this.
That nigga sent shots at Brian Windhurst, Stephen A. Smith, just all of sports media, basically. He went crazy. And there are conflicting feelings on it. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Stephen A. then replied on his show, it just doesn't look like this thing is going to end anytime soon. LeBron says Stephen A. has been on a Taylor Swift-like tour run talking about their encounter, which started with Stephen A. saying, I had no intention of ever talking about this encounter up until I heard the Richard Jefferson leak. Then he had so much to say about it. So they've just been going back and forth. I don't know if you guys have kept up with any of it.
Well, I've tried to. It's an ongoing.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's ongoing. I watched
and if you
LeBron, I watched Stephen A., then I watched Stephen A. again. There might be more. I don't know. I'm starting to feel like.
What's LeBron's reason for doing that to Stephen A.? Did he give that reason?
He don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
LeBron doesn't fuck with Stephen A. That part is 100% clear.
If I'm Stephen
they don't fuck with each other.
If I'm Stephen A., I want this to keep going.
Yeah, of course.
For sure.
Stephen A. Stephen A. selling content.
Nigga, I just got this big contract over here. Yeah, yeah.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
In the content game today, yeah, you do.
No, you don't.
You sat there and just told us about niggas shooting at other niggas at the top and all of this. You got the biggest athlete, the biggest brand, biggest star damn near in the world.
It's damn near marketing for you. You telling the label, yo, dog, who could LeBron come out of hiding for to give this much attention to outside of myself? Nobody.
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying? Like if you okay with standing in the villain role, which we've seen Stephen A. Smith do countless times, then it don't affect you. It's like academics or you or somebody that don't mind it because the gig is the gig.
It's not like me and it's not like academics because we're independent contractors and we do everything we do for the most part independently.
Got you.
Stephen A. Smith is not that. And let me paint the other side for you.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Stephen A. just got his big contract. Actually, all this shit broke on the same day it was announced that he got his big contract, 5 years, $20 million per. Talk about it now. First of all, let's clap for that.
Clap that up, $100 million.
First of all, let's clap for that. I'm sure a large part of his negotiation was the standing of First Take, the ratings of First Take, and how long they have been number one, and the separation between them and whoever number two is. Pat McAfee for Stephen A. represents Joe Rogan to me in the Spotify deal. He came in, new way of doing things. They're allowing him to curse. They're giving him the big guests, and the Aaron Rodgers, the other guests that we're not seeing on First Take.
Well, he had them for.
But Aaron Rodgers was his man prior to him even getting that.
He had them for.
That's part of what we said was his leverage.
That's his leverage.
That's his leverage.
I got something that y'all can't
But it ain't just Aaron Rodgers. It's Bill Belichick. There's a different caliber and cachet to the guests that are on Pat McAfee versus what we have been seeing lately from First Take. That matters here.
Okay.
That matters here.
Okay.
So now you have LeBron James, who doesn't do this at all, coming to park on the show directly after you for 1 hour, totally unfiltered. What that does for the ratings of what somebody is looking at as your competitor, you don't want that to continue. No, you don't. No, you don't.
I don't think you
because when you go clap back, and he did clap back, it will never be as loud as one, LeBron clapping back, and two, a strategic, meticulous, petty LeBron clapping back. Because that move with Pat McAfee is a petty move.
Absolutely.
I love the pettiness of the move, but that's a business altering move. It's not just hey, we chit chatting back and forth.
That's where I disagree.
I disagree too.
You can disagree all you want. It's what ESPN is looking like.
Yeah, but
This ain't my call.
Nobody else over here could get LeBron out to come out the house and address them.
That's one. And then LeBron not going to keep going to Pat McAfee. I have my own platforms, 2 of them, where I could keep addressing this nigga every single day, and everybody going to tune in to see what the fuck I got to say to him.
It's not going to be good.
LeBron not going to keep going to Pat McAfee to go back and forth.
LeBron ain't going to keep going nowhere because LeBron is media. So the one time he popped out to what some would say is your competitor, even in the same building. Yeah, and I made those numbers for the day do something different.
True.
Yeah.
No, that's not good. That's not good.
I think that
there's no world where that's good.
For that day, it's not good. I think long term it could be good.
People want to hear Stephen A. Smith's reply.
And not that many. Not that many.
And not for nothing, he did.
Hey, I went on YouTube. The YouTube click hit 1 million in 7 hours.
Okay.
For which?
For LeBron on Pat McAfee.
Right.
In hour 8, somewhere, early. It was at 1 million pretty early. I'm just saying, it's tough to compete at that clip. And if one of the more powerful voices in the world just focus their energy on you solely for the next year because you was talking about my kid, you would have to be a brilliant A-level spin artist to turn that into a positive. I don't see it as good. I don't.
I think it's good too because Stephen A's initial clapback was on his platform.
Exactly.
And what are y'all talking about? How could it be good? I just signed my contract. I'm locked in for the next 5 years at $20 million per.
Right.
Whatever I do to the numbers, it don't do nothing to change what I see.
But it does for his show that he owns.
Yeah. So let's just say hypothetically, I don't know his numbers, but let's say
real quick.
And I'm only at
looking
200
at the numbers.
Change.
I looked at the numbers. The full episode, LeBron on Pat McAfee, 1.5 million views a day ago. Stephen A. fires back on first take, 1 million views. That ain't that far off, bro.
Yeah.
So my numbers is up too.
I don't think it's good.
And his on his show 1.16 million.
So that's my point. So let's say hypothetically Stephen A. Smith is used to getting 400,000. I don't know his numbers. I'm just making up a number. And now I got the 1 million because of my beef with LeBron. And I got a mic in front of me twice a day. Come on, bro. Like, you welcoming that.
Absolutely.
And I think ESPN may be welcoming that.
Of course.
ESPN gonna welcome all of it.
ESPN is universal.
You also potentially run the risk of isolating, or not isolating, but burning the bridge to some of the relationships that you so covet in the league.
That's a different argument.
Yeah,
it's not a different. I hate when you do that. Don't do that. It's the same argument.
But those, I disagree.
My question is the risk worth the reward?
I'm gonna answer you. I think
that's my question.
It's potential you burning the bridge with this one particular person, but you also could be the mouthpiece for a whole bunch of people that had your same exact sentiment.
I was scared to say something.
True, but they're scared to say something.
I know. So now you speak up for them. So you're not necessarily burning the
relationship. Don't tell me
relationship.
that you echo my mouthpiece, because that's not support. The nigga that's standing back there that feel the same way I feel, that won't talk, that's not support.
But it's not a bridge that got burnt. It's a bridge that might have been,
And I'm only bringing that up because the rumor circulated shortly after that there are certain NBA players that were standing against Stephen A. Smith. Like, that rumor went out. I'm not just throwing shit at a wall.
It's possible. I'm sure
that could be true. But now, if that's true, you think the opposite could also be true? That there were certain NBA players who will now fuck with Stephen A. Smith now that the line is
when
drawn.
you say opposite, I look at it the other way. There will be certain media members. That's what I'm seeing now. A war being inflicted between certain media sportscasters and media members and people that cover the NBA and actual NBA athletes that are media. Because that's the other side of this too. LeBron James is media
now. Yeah.
Draymond
is
media.
They
media.
Not the same kind of media, though. Be clear.
They had it there.
It's media. Media's media.
They had it there.
If I'm around the clock journalistic media 24/7 damn near with Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James pops out for his show for a couple months a year, it's not the same media.
It is the same. That reminds me of Dub B 20 years ago telling me that the rapper with the hot ad lib will always beat the rapper with a hot verse. Because the hot ad lib is just a hot ad lib. It's power. It's just a quick line, and the fans know the line, and it's, oh shit, we got 30 billion fans screaming an ad lib, and you just sitting there rapping good. Rapping good ain't gonna get 30 billion fans. Yes, Stephen A. is him in his world. LeBron James saying anything, Drake saying anything to anybody, like it's media's media.
Yeah, but all right, use your Drake example.
I agree with that.
Use your Drake example though.
Drake
Like,
sitting
when Drake-
down
when
one
Drake-
time with Aiden Ross is media.
Cool, but Joe, stick to that example.
Go ahead.
Use you for example.
Don't
you
use
say
me.
no. I have to.
Right,
You
fine.
you say it's up when you and Drake engage.
Oh yeah, no, it's up.
So that's what from the Stephen A. side. I got LeBron to engage, my nigga. It's up. I want that to be up.
Well, that's why they want to use me and Drake, because him and LeBron, they're saying that we haven't fucked with each other for, well, maybe that's true, me and Drake.
You and
Yeah,
Drake,
yeah,
I've
yeah.
been saying
It's
y'all
really
don't
the
fuck
same
with each
shit.
other.
It's
I kept telling you, y'all don't fuck with each other
The
like
way
that.
the way LeBron did the interview was Drake-ish.
They just make it sound like it's been 15 years.
Bro,
and
if
nobody
Drake
has
gets
known.
on,
I don't feel like that about
if Drake gets online tomorrow,
been 10.
It might
Yeah,
not be the
yeah.
same. But
shit.
if Drake gets online tomorrow, and a huge part of his 1 hour interview is 25 minutes of it is directed at Joe Budden, you welcome that. You definitely welcome that. If 25 minutes of his 1 hour interview is basically headed,
No matter good
Headed
bad,
your way,
he's addressing you. You want that.
Boy,
It's up.
I know you're gonna come in here like, hey,
Paywall next
Oh, yeah.
episode, nigga.
What?
Pay per view.
Absolutely. We make sense, my nigga.
Well, I'm not saying that.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. I don't have a horse in the race.
No, I'm just saying.
And I'm not saying that
And
you don't
on
make
the
it.
reverse.
I'm just throwing shit
Are
at
you
the wall.
standing on the side that Stephen A. should stop because he was the antagonizer in the situation?
I think they both should stop.
Yeah,
But
so.
you're speaking more from like, I understand where LeBron's coming from. That's his son Stephen A. been antagonizing the situation. So as you,
I think for Stephen A. to say, yo, I was never going to talk about this, but then I heard the Richard Jefferson clip. I do agree that he's been on a run talking about it. On the flip side, I understand going on a run to talk about the biggest guy in the world.
Let's not do the flip side. Let's talk to you as a person, as a fan of these individuals, as a supporter.
I think this is an unnecessary crash out from Stephen A. It's not, even if LeBron is crashing out also, it's not going to be looked at that way.
It will be by some people because now there's a lot of people that take LeBron out that conversation now because of this.
I think a lot of people look at it as an unnecessary.
It's on both sides.
Not
to
me. I'm just talking about from what I'm hearing. I hear a lot of people saying it's an unnecessary crash out from LeBron.
I say it's both.
I've seen that too.
I've seen a lot of people saying like LeBron has crashed out unnecessarily because a man is doing his journalistic job.
Yeah,
Some
but
people,
you can't tell people how to father.
I'm not disagreeing.
That's
You
where
can't.
Joe's
That's
going.
where
Joe, we're not
LeBron-
talking about who's right or wrong between the people. We talking about the perception of the onlooker to the
But
events that are
perception
going on.
goes out the window for me when somebody's fathering.
I'm not disagreeing.
If I'm fathering, my concern is not how I'm being looked at.
That's true.
I don't think Stephen A. is as invested or should be as invested as LeBron is for how he felt about what was said.
I'm talking about the people saying LeBron is crashing out. A lot of people are saying, yo, he's crashing out. But he never disrespected your son. He's saying, yo, he's crashed. A lot of people. I'm not in that. I'm saying from outside, a lot of people are saying, yo, dog, he's bugging the fuck out.
But then a lot of people also will hear the response to that is, and rightfully so.
Yeah, because I don't even need to get to a lot
get
of
what I'm
people.
saying?
Me, as a dad listening, I understand what LeBron was trying to say more than whatever the fuck point Stephen A. was trying to get off. Like for Stephen A., hey, let's stay with the me and Drake example. When I was talking about Drake responded and said, sounds personal. It sounds like it's more than the music.
Mm-hmm.
This shit that Stephen A. is and has been saying, LeBron is saying, this is not just basketball. This is more than basketball, and that's where I have a problem.
And that's what the checking them. Hey, whatever it is, keep my son out of it though.
Yeah.
Whatever we got, it is more than basketball. You're not bringing my son into this. Whatever it is, me and you dealing with, we'll deal with that.
I was saying what Stephen A. is saying. Hey, I'm getting this from the lyrics. It's in the music. I'm unpacking the music, so that should mean I should be able to talk about it. The fans was like, I don't know about that.
Let me-
Keep it music.
Let me-
Not music. If you talk about the girls, I don't care about what he says out. It's the same shit.
Let me extend you grace because when it came to talking about Drake's son, you didn't want to touch it. The
I'm not
music,
talking about
or
nobody's
anything,
son.
you didn't want to do it.
I'm not talking about nobody's
Yeah, I'm not
kids.
talking about nobody's
I'm talking about
kids.
nobody's
You know what I mean? So
Not my place, it's not my business. I would hope niggas would extend that same
Courtesy
to me. And if you don't, it let me know how you want it when it comes to people's kids. That don't mean I'm gonna go fucking spin the block and kill you.
Yeah.
It just lets me know
Got
where
it.
you stand on kids.
So no, I'm just saying I see how you're approaching the situation. So I see what you expect from a guy like
This
Stephen
is
A.
not, for me, this is not Stephen A's first time going through this with somebody's dad. It ain't.
but that don't necessarily.
He has a track record of going through this, maybe not to this degree, with somebody's dad. I was on Kyrie's dad's side last time they did this.
Me too.
When niggas had to step to him and say, hey, the people that raised you raised him, and out of respect for us, when you talk about us, you're talking about, like,
When you talk about him,
they've
you
had
talking
to
about
check
them.
Stephen A a few times behind the scenes over how you are handling the children of dads that you know, dads that you're seeing. It ain't just Kyrie, it's a reoccurring thing.
Are you saying that Stephen A is more professional or should be more professional than having to take the routes that he's taking when speaking or approaching the topic? Are you saying that you should be more?
I think that
you should be clever enough to approach a topic in a different way than taking these clickbait.
Yes and no. Stephen A is him in his field. Don't
He
ever
is.
misconstrue what I'm saying.
No, he is.
He's him in his field.
Amazing.
He's also him at a company. And you have to know when your company is now moving in a different direction. It's like when the NBA hired analytics people. And they started listening to the analytics people a little more than the basketball people. The same thing you could tell if you got eyes in the brain that's happening at ESPN. Where they rather show you, there's a meme going around, where they rather show you Stephen A speak to Kai Cenat about who's better, LeBron and Jordan. Everything is cowboy. Like there are no real conversations about Houston's 10-game winning streak, the turnaround that Detroit has had. Like there's so many dope stories to have. That's not what ESPN is doing.
Yeah, no, they're doing content-y shit.
ESPN is doing content
Headline, clickbaity.
headline, and when you do that,
It's 3 teams.
You're gonna find your people to fucking harp on. I've done it before.
Stay here though. Look, stay there.
I've done it before.
Stay where you at.
So some of those people, Jason Tatum, I don't think Jason Tatum deserved none of that shit that they did, but that was the hot story with Steve Kerr and the Dream Team. Bronny, I don't think he deserved any of that, but that's the hot story. There's a bunch of these stories.
I got it. I'm listening.
So yeah, when these go out, if we see each other and know each other, back to my J1 working here point, right? Like when I called you and said, hey, that conversation, it was cool on some pod shit, but when we know somebody's dad,
You did, yes.
right? Like it's just like a respect thing when you know and see a dad.
Yes.
That's my only point in this, and they just keep it going. I don't agree with how either of them are going about it. There are portions of that LeBron, Pat McAfee shit where I thought that he sounded nuts.
I think Joe agrees with my point.
No, but I'm surprised at you.
I think
because-
from an analytic standpoint, ESPN welcomes this. Dog, ESPN, your great point that you made. Detroit is killing. Houston is killing. Some of the lower market teams, they killing.
Yeah.
You know who ESPN push? The Lakers, the Cowboys, and the Yankees.
Yep.
Right? We not talking up here now as sport journalists about the parity that's going on in the NBA, how any team in the West could beat any team in the West. We don't care about that. We care about the Lakers, the Yankees, and the Cowboys. So I think that
We or who? You saying-
ESPN.
The company.
Yeah,
ESPN.
yeah.
That's the company. So I think that this shit with LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith
It's a
to
gold mine.
ESPN
It's a
is
gold
a
mine.
fucking platinum mine, not gold.
Yeah.
It's a platinum mine. I don't think that they looking at that with no level of disgust.
I was never trying to say that that's how ESPN was looking
Oh,
at
you
it.
said the ESPN is looking at it like they gonna move or shit.
But you
No.
usually on the opposite side of anything.
They could, though.
You usually on the opposite side of anything clickbaity. Right, they just going down a clickbaity route. You're usually on the opposite side
Me.
of that. Yes, so to hear that you say that you understand,
bro. This is not about me personally. I'm having an objective conversation. I'm saying that I see both sides of this particular equation. I don't think, me personally, that Stephen A. Smith was way out of line in what he said.
Okay.
Yo, it's a-
I looked at that Kyrie shit way worse than I look at this. Y'all know how I felt about the Kyrie shit.
yeah.
I thought the Kyrie shit was disgusting.
Yeah.
I looked at the Kyrie shit way worse than
Got it.
how I looked at what he said about Bron.
How do you approach it? How do you approach a situation like that? If your son is in the NBA and he's there and he's doing whatever he's doing, and this is my job to speak about the NBA and the Lakers,
Assess talent.
and assess talent. How do you think Stephen A. should approach that?
Not personally. I'll answer.
I don't think.
How
he's
would he
personal.
approach that?
Getting this directly from Stephen A's mouth. Pause. Any player that's in their first 3 to 4 years, we shouldn't be talking about at all, because there's an understanding from the people that cover the game that these people are developing. These people just got here, they're getting a feel for the game, they've never played it. We shouldn't be covering any of them to the extent that we cover anybody else.
I disagree.
That's fine.
Go ahead.
Now in year 3 and 4 and 5, we can look up and say, hey, this person was drafted here. This is the production we getting, and us have to talk.
They don't adhere to that at all.
Nobody does.
They do adhere to that, though.
No, they don't. No, they don't, Joe.
What player from last year's draft is being critiqued in that manner?
You said 3 to 4 years.
What player from the year before that is being critiqued? Give me the players.
Are we talking about only basketball?
Yes, I'm talking about.
I'm gonna give you some people. Ja Morant in his second year in the NBA was getting critiqued. Anthony Edwards in his second year in the NBA was getting critiqued.
I disagree.
All of the higher level kids, or not kids, because I don't want to call them kids. All of the higher level players that get drafted high get critiqued.
With high expectation on them, get critiqued, bro.
I'm clear that me and you stand on different sides of this. Anthony Edwards was the number 3 pick in the draft.
He was number 1 pick in the draft. But keep going.
I don't know if he was number 1.
He was.
And I'm not fact checking right
He
now.
was.
But either way, 1, 3, same shit. And I still don't think niggas looked at him a certain way for a little while. Ja Morant was handed the keys to not only the franchise, but the whole fucking league in year 2 and 3. So I just disagree with that. I don't see where players, if they see you special, they treat you special. But the other players, they're allowed time to fucking develop. They even made up a whole league for these players to develop.
Dog, some players come into the league with a lot of
there is no 55th pick that's ever happened to.
Bro, you moving the goalpost now. But
I'm not trying to.
I can address it.
I'm not trying to.
Listen to this. Nobody at the 55th pick has had the scrutiny that
Correct.
Bronny
has.
Cool.
Correct.
Let's stay here, and we're going to make everything relative. One, no 55th pick can tell you, yo, I'm not working out for you. No 55th pick is going to come into the league and get a guaranteed 4-year, $8 million deal, and they go into the G.
That's cap. There are other players picked in the 50s that have a 4-year deal.
Coming out the gate?
Yeah.
Who?
We can look them up.
Okay, cool. Let me keep moving forward.
Look them up. They exist.
I don't know of them. But number 3, what happened with Bronny, again, it's a gift and a curse, and you got to live with the gift and the curse. My father has laid his blood, sweat, and tears down in this league. I don't give a fuck if I don't belong here or not. Bronny averaged 4 points a game in college. So people are looking at that like, yo, he's not deserving. It's not Antoine's assessment. I'm talking about an overall assessment. They're looking at it like, yo, dog, if you were not LeBron James' son, you wouldn't be here. So that's going to have a certain level of scrutiny. If he averaged 17 or 20 points in college, nobody would have said a fucking thing. He averaged 4 points a game in college. He had a heart issue.
Heart attack in college.
Listen, let me finish.
To answer your point.
He had a heart issue in college.
Don't tell me.
There are a couple players. It says Tyler Kolek, the Knicks signed to a record-breaking contract for a second-round pick, $6.6 million in guaranteed money. Other examples are of second-round picks who got guaranteed contracts: Maxwell Lewis and Denver. Last name Pickett. You don't have his first name, but there are players that have in the late second round gotten guaranteed contracts.
Guaranteed their first year. Got you. I'm staying corrected.
50th pick and beyond.
But what I'm saying is, all of those things from somebody that averaged 4 points a game in college, that didn't work out for no pro teams and all of that shit, now you looking at it from a favoritism standpoint, you're going to get scrutinized, is all I'm saying.
And when you say that, I think...
And the heart attack thing lends to the other scrutiny. It's not me. It lends to that. Like, yo, fam, you shouldn't be here if those things. Stay in college another year and get your game up.
I think there are a lot of components to this conversation, and it is very nuanced.
True.
But for me, all of that is word soup when it gets to how a father decides to father.
Got it.
Like, there's valid points made on both sides of the Bronny argument, so I don't want to continue to rehash them all. But if you come in here with some shit that you laid down on earth on some father shit, I'm rolling with whatever the fuck that is.
Cool.
I would not want my son to be fucking treated a different way by the earth because of things that his dad did in his career. Well, now, maybe there's nothing you can do about
that. Ain't gonna happen.
That's not life. That's not real.
It goes the other way a lot.
Okay, but in the event that you see that happening as a dad, you're jumping in that. You're jumping in
I'm not disagreeing.
But the other side,
we go on in circles.
Because niggas get favoritism based off of who they pops is all the time, and that's okay. Like, you got to take both sides of that coin.
Not if you're the dad.
No.
Not if you're watching somebody that you love. You don't look at somebody that you love and say, "Oh, take both sides, kiddo."
No. I'm not saying if you're the dad. I'm just saying this is real life we talking about.
Listen, we kicking past the coverage. One of the best basketball players in the world went to one of the biggest media spots in Indiana and kicked the back end of one of the biggest media people in the world.
Yeah, and threw a couple other shots meantime.
Yeah, he fired at Brian Windhurst. He said, Brian Windhurst is running around acting like my best friend. Nigga's a weirdo.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's a weird, my gird. That nigga's a weirdo, been a weirdo. That shit's weird. All these sports niggas is weirdos. There's a big divide going on between the athletes and the commentators that they're taking the jobs from.
The athletes are starting to get a voice.
And the athletes are starting to get eyes and look at what the fuck Tom Brady is being paid by CBS and what the fuck the Kelsey brothers is being paid by Amazon. We're getting a voice. The athletes got brains and eyes, and we might have got robbed in our career, but now we see this second window, and we gonna get to it. So you know what that means? Fuck the Elliott Wilsons of the basketball world. That's what's happening.
I think that's for some.
Shout out to Elliott Wilson.
No, I think,
just using it as an example.
I think that's true for some. I think some of the other ones is this shit has been going on forever. We never was able to respond when such and such would write a shitty article about us back in the day. Now we have a voice, and our voice is being heard. So now we could contest some of that shit. That's what I look at it as. Like, yo, dog, I remember that art. Them niggas take that shit personally. Yeah. I remember you wrote an article about me 2 years ago, and you said all of this shit, and I remember it. So now it's up for you.
That's the other part of the LeBron shit that he addressed on Pat McAfee. He said, the conversation is about him and Bronny. About Bronny, but this is about how you can and can't speak about players and the game that we love. Y'all have killed this shit. So, we can talk about Bronny, but is that the best and most effective way to talk about the game that each one of us love? The way y'all have handled it in recent years have us in this spot, and it's shitty. And as the leader of player voices and the league, and I'm about to get my own team, there's nobody else equipped to say this but me.
I agree.
But we're not going to have the conversation because we're talking about my son. But we have a problem with how y'all speak to all players. He referenced the Philadelphia beat writer that came in the locker room and said that shit about Joel Embiid's brother that lost his life.
Yeah.
Like, he's having deep conversations
I agree,
there.
and I agree with all of that.
Some of that is really, really, really important. Some of it is petty bullshit.
Nah.
But some of it is really important.
Right.
Yeah.
He's right.
He's just getting his shit off.
And that's what I said, y'all. He's 1,000% right now. And I think now that these niggas got their own voice, I make mad money. I don't give a fuck no more. I make $400 million. I can say what I want. Whereas the nigga that was making 1.5, they had to eat that.
Right.
It came along with the game. You know what I'm saying? Now I can address some of you motherfuckers because I'm seeing y'all personally. You know what I mean? It's the same writers.
Right.
It's the same writers all the time.
And now some of you sport reporter niggas is the ops if I'm clutch and I represent the athlete podcasters that are going to go try to get the big bag from all the companies that y'all are getting it for. They fighting over different shit than they saying.
Yeah, true.
That's a fact.
I agree with you.
I agree with it.
Because if you clutch and you getting ad money, you can really... It's Drake.
Yeah, I'm going up there to pitch
Drake could be
Draymond
like, yo,
Green for
nigga.
everything. For everything y'all pitching Stephen A. for, I'm going to pitch Draymond Green.
True. It's a different conversation now. They taking the
It's
the
deep
power.
and it's fun.
They taking
deep.
the power.
Yeah,
they taking the power.
It is deep and it's fun to watch. It is.
They taking the power.
There's a real intricate chess game being played
behind the scenes
in front of us.
For sure.
True. Oh, Doritos.
That's what I got. Shout out to all parties.
I agree with you.
Shout out to all parties.
No doubt.
Yes, sir. I agree.
What else do we need to give our opinion on? What else do we need to the YG record? Unless y'all want to go somewhere else. Fast forward to the last verse where he gets into I was 14 years old when I got my dick sucked, 14 years old when I first used my dick, when she did this and yada yada yada. We'll get to it. First thoughts. First thoughts on this.
Super fire.
Very
Best
fire.
YG record I've heard in a really long time, and I like YG.
Same. Huge YG fan.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. It's a different. He's getting into like a trauma bag.
I've never heard introspective YG like this. At least not
That's
this
the
level
word.
of introspective.
Yeah, he's I lost my homies. I'm dealing with losses, but this is different. Maturity.
Yeah.
That sounds like therapy.
Growth.
Like I went to because a lot of times the real issue is dudes don't even realize that they were assaulted.
Right.
That's the underlying issue right there. So
Well, that's what he got into he
the
started
last
talking
verse,
about how, hey, I didn't realize that because I liked it.
Yeah.
Like I had a blast. We kept doing it. I knew her niece, but as I got older, I realized yada 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 yada. So listen,
That's deep.
not only is the song super 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 hard, once you get past the abrasiveness of the first line and start listening to it, what a deep concept record.
Word.
This is a fly way, I think, to have that conversation.
It is.
Because, I joke all the time with, and maybe we shouldn't, but with the guys that have lost their virginity that way. Like, yo, dog,
You was
that saved. And they be like, no, nigga.
He talks about how he talked about it with the homies.
Yeah.
Right.
And the homies is like, nigga, that's some fly shit. That's how we really look at it.
That's how we looked at it.
Yo, you fucking Miss Brenda?
Yeah, we don't look at it that way.
Oh shit! Like, yo, that's how we look at it as young guys. We always had a fantasy to fuck with the older women anyway. When we was in our teenage years, you fantasizing the guidance counselor or the teacher or whomever the case may be. We look at it like it's some fly shit. You're not looking at it like this older woman mentally manipulated you. You know what I'm saying? We not looking at it like that.
And
Or she could have potentially took your innocence. We not looking at it like that.
And something else we never really talk about is a lot of times I know it happened to me. I know it happened to my brother and a bunch of other younger ones. Your mom's friends be saying things that's not.
Oh yeah, you could get it off with the boys.
You know what I'm saying? Oh,
get
he's
off
so
with the
you gonna
boys.
be my boyfriend and this
You
that,
get
and the
off
third.
with
And
the
it sounds kiki
Yeah.
ha ha ha, but that's some fucked
It's
up
some
shit.
inappropriate shit.
right.
That
And it sets it in your mind that I should like the older chick because she like me. It's nothing wrong.
We got to
with that.
change our way of thinking.
No, I just think like if it-
completely. The way that we think is, we got to change it completely.
But that goes into
Because-
the double standard shit. Like, yo, my girl, I can talk, my girl's son, he 24, 25. But he's mad, like women be like, yo, he's so attractive, like he need to be in movies and magazines and all that shit, right?
Right.
Yo, your friends be like, girl, if that wasn't your son, girl, like they say all of that shit. You can't say that to a girl.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,